Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails here with John G. Sutton. I'm going to talk today about BARLINNIE, which is in the news because it's running at, believe this or not, I mean, this is, what are we at, the 21st century? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, does it? Because the BARLINNIE was built in the 19th century. So here we are, 140 odd years later, and it's still running, but it's running at 140% of capacity. That means that it's incredibly overcrowded. And the governor, Mr. Michael Stoney, is saying that the prison is totally and utterly inadequate and unsuitable for service. It takes him a great deal of his time as the governor of the prison to maintain the infrastructure, so he has to get people making sure that it all works. That's things like showering the inmates, making sure that he won't do it personally, of course, but he's got to, he said there are also great problems with like battles going on. Inmates who must not be allowed to connect with each other because they're going to attempt to kill each other. So they've got a do not allow to mix list, I mean, what is going on here? Somebody's lost control, haven't they? Also, Michael Stoney is saying that on the wings, the inmates are taking powerful psychoactive drugs like spice. And he said the problem is that the staff have an amicable relationship half the time with the inmates, but as soon as they start taking these drugs, they don't even know that they've done what they've done, and they're attacking people, attacking staff, and basically that's what happens. And when they come round, they don't realise they've no memory of this. So I mean, punishing people when they have no memory of it, where's the mens rea? Where's the guilty mind? Well, the guilty mind must be in taking the spice in the first place, because they must be aware that that is what's happening. There are plans, I believe, according to the governor, Michael Stoney, to create a new His Majesty's Prison Glasgow that will house all these inmates, and they're getting more and more inmates, aren't they? That's why the police are now downgrading theft to a caution. So, I mean, you steal a couple of cars, well, give him a caution, eh? That'll do it. Yeah, or you go shoplifting, take a couple of TVs and run off with them. That's have a word with the duty inspector, lad. Don't do it again, eh? What is the world coming to? Anyway, that's the big news. You can see this if you just go on to the BBC site and have a look at the news today. It's quite big news about His Majesty's Prison BARLINNIE being unsuitable for use, and they're saying they have great difficulty with shortage of staff. I wonder why. When you think about it, and it's also not just the prisons that are having difficulty with shortage of staff, it's the police. I was reading a report yesterday about the police service in Lincolnshire, saying that they're losing more officers than they can recruit. And there's a good reason for that. They are not paying the wage. I mean, listen, have you seen that Bank of England, the governor of the Bank of England says we've got to raise interest rates to control inflation. And he said he's not happy at all with the way that wages are going up. I suggest that we get the governor of the Bank of England, stick him in Wormwood Scrubs, give him a big hat and a set of keys, say there you are, 25,000 a year, find yourself somewhere to live, find yourself food, feed yourself, and you got to work here 40 hours a week, yeah? You can go on C2 landing and start slopping them out, get on with it. Nobody can do that. When I worked there in 1975-76, my entire wages would not permit me, they weren't sufficient for me to rent an apartment in East Acton, Ealing, Acton, Shepherd's Bush, nowhere around there, nowhere in London West 12 was there anywhere affordable for me to rent with my entire wage from Wormwood Scrubs, and it's not changed since. from what I'm understanding, there's people commuting in from as far away as Reading. I mean, Reading's like 40 miles outside London. And Barnet, even Barnet, right at the end of the line, is extremely expensive. I mean, all you're going to get there is a room in a shared house. How disgraceful is that? And the governor of the Bank of England is saying, well, we've got to control the wages. Well, I'll tell you what he's doing, yeah? Listen to John here. They put the interest rates up so the banks make profit. Don't think the banks don't make profit. HSBC made £17 billion in profit. Yeah, that's what they've declared, profit. £17 billion in the first 6 months. I mean, somebody's doing all right out of this. And you got to say to yourself, well, that's just the banks, isn't it? Who owns the banks? Well, the people who run the country own the banks, don't they? I mean, Rishi Sunak, he's a billionaire, or his wife's a billionairess. Was a non-domestic, so she didn't pay taxes in Britain. Paid taxes in, I don't know, where's it, British Virgin Islands or somewhere like that. They're having our pants down, lads. You know, they're taking the piss. Seriously, it's a disgrace. And I also tell you what's another bloody disgrace. Yeah, I'm lapsing here. You know, I'm going off track. Yeah. Hey, I see Michael Barrymore's back on the television. Oh, I'm putting a show out. I hope you'll come and see me. You will come and see you, all right? Wearing 5 pairs of swimming trunks and a cork up my arse. Hey, Michael Barrymore. Anyway, good news today. My book, part 2, is published in Audible. So I don't have to ding the ding-dong, because it's not going to be a ding-dong-ding today. It's going to be a little sample from my book, which is HMP Manchester Prison Officer, Part 2, and it's available on Amazon in Audible. And here we have a little sample from Chapter 4.
At Strangeways, my daily duties continued to vary, as I was allocated one dismal, mundane task after another. One day I would be acting as a discipline officer on the exercise yard, and the next collecting shit parcels on the cleaning detail. One mind-numbing duty involved me overseeing good order and discipline in the mailbag sewing workshop. I'd previously seen this relic of the Victorian era when I was undertaking my initial training, and the place had remained the same. Inside the workshed, there were row upon row of wooden benches with approximately 200 inmates seated there sewing mailbags with thread. At the top, left and centre of this shed were 2 raised, faded blue painted wooden seats on which the prison officers sat observing the proceedings and looking out for signs of trouble or disturbance. Charles Dickens would have no doubt recognised this scene, as it had remained unchanged in over a century. I recalled the advertisement I'd responded to when considering the job. It said, "Join the modern prison service." So clearly, the Home Office knew nothing about Strangeways Jail. It was Christmas of 1976.
There you are. Join the modern prison service. It's like like being in a time machine when you went into there. Hundreds of inmates sat round with Hessian mailbags and needles and thread, sewing, yeah, just like they did in Dickens' time. What a bastard place it was. Anyway, that's out. It's now on Amazon. It's Audible Books, Part 2, HMP Manchester Prison Officer, by me. Yes, folks, but the actor reading it is Alan Turton, and I must say I've not heard all of it, because I only just got it today. No, it's only published today, and he's done a really good job of it. Put some feeling into it, and sounds right. So, hope you enjoyed that. Tales from the Jails.